Hey, ladies and gents, by the way.
Sorry
Hey,
about that.
here is an unfiltered look under the lid of the military, our armed forces, and the band of brothers that we often hear about. A lot of civilians don't get to see what that looks like. So we are started a new show called The Ranger Games, and I have some co-hosts with me. They are all geared toward. This show is geared towards veterans. If you are a veteran, you want to watch. If you know a veteran, you want to watch. If you wanted to become a veteran, you want to watch. And if you're going to become a veteran, you want to watch. So this show is for everybody to get this glimpse into what Band of Brothers actually looks like. My other two co-hosts are...
There you go.
Jim?
I'm Joel.
I'm John.
And this is our guest, John.
And each week, as a matter of fact, John, each week we're going to have a guest veteran come on the show. So what you're going to want to do is just tune in. This is unfiltered. As Joel said, veteran Joel said, what happens here goes out to you. This is going to be an unfiltered show. So you know what, guys? I think we should just start out by just showing your personalities. You banter back and forth. And that's what the Band of Brothers do. There's many different branches of the military and armed services. You share like minds, but at the same time, you give each other shit. So why don't you give us a glimpse of what that looks like?
Well, there's only one branch.
I mean, there are many. That's right. Correct.
Well, you got the military branch. I mean, you got the army.
That's
and
it.
You got everybody else that falls behind the army.
U.S. Army Air Corps.
Oh, he's in the He was in the chair force. You got to give him a minute to catch up.
That's good. Excellent.
How do we do on the chairs?
The chairs, they're fine. They're nice. They're a lot better than standing.
Yeah, better than standing.
Yeah.
What you're used to when you were in the service.
No, I was definitely sitting down in the Air Force.
And lots
of comfy chairs.
They invest a lot into that.
Oh yeah, lots of nice padding and.
Was that part of your guys' initial training? Is that how to pick out the right chair, how to get the right
Exactly. Yeah. I had to make sure one had a tall back so I could lean back and catch a nap. And...
Of course. So, what about?
How's that, Tony?
That's really good. As a matter of fact, you guys, a lot of people don't know what in the hell. Why did you guys decide that you wanted to serve our country and risk life and limb to do that? What made you decide to do that?
Me?
Anybody?
Go for it, Jim.
Well, let's see. My dad was in the U.S. Army, went to college, got a commission in the United States Army, served his country overseas in West Germany, and I followed suit. Went to the same college, got my commission, and I was a stateside Army veteran.
You see, Jim was an officer. That's talking with the down.
Smooth move.
Yeah, Jim was an officer, so
Nice to look you, Joel.
That's all right. I'll still talk to him.
You still talk to him. We won't judge too harshly.
No.
So what were you doing in the military there, John?
I was primarily in engineering. I started off in what they called air freight, but soon realized that you could train a monkey to load boxes on airplanes. And
So an officer could do it.
oh yeah, absolutely.
Get on it, Joel.
So I volunteered for cross training, and I went into engineering and stayed in that for the rest of my 28 years.
Nice. So engineering. So you guys did what? You guys built the planes? You guys?
No. I built a plane. I built a place for the planes to land, for them to park, for the mechanics to work on them, all the buildings, roads, utilities, everything that the Air Force needed to operate.
Oh. So do you guys want to outsource that to the Army engineers?
No, that'd be the last place we'd go.
What are you talking about?
Not even a fire station.
When it came down to in Afghanistan for the Air Force to have their places to build their nice, wonderful, hard building and stuff, the Army had to go not only take the landing strip along with the Marines, but they also had to drive the gigantic. It looked like a gigantic tractor with this big old thing of chains that whipped the ground in front of it. That was the engineers. And it would hit the mine to blow the mines up in their face. And they'd keep going, so that way they clear the mines for you guys to build your stuff at.
Yeah, they invented that minesweeper in World War II.
I have a feeling that was invented by the Marines because of
No, I think it was actually invented by the Army. They put them on the front of deuce and a halves.
I don't know about you, but I don't want to be sitting in a deuce and a half when a mine goes off.
That's not
I'd rather
the
want to be
farmer.
sitting inside a gigantic tractor.
You never saw those pictures of the drum with all the chains on it sticking out in front of a deuce and a half? I'm sitting there thinking, don't get me to drive that.
You got to wonder how you get that job. You got to really piss somebody off.
Oh, I know.
Draw the short straw, or
Big time.
if your IQ is below this, if you got your GT scores down in the 60s or something, or average score, you gotta drive the mine truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing you never really wanted to be. You never really wanted to be the first in the first TC driver in the convoy, but you wanted to be. You didn't want to be the second one either, because usually sometimes what they'll do is they'll trip the IED on the first one, and then they would blow up on the second one. And so usually if you're in the middle, you're usually doing better, at least until about halfway through, and then they start figuring out that's where some of the more important people usually sit in the middle of the convoy. So you did something a little bit bigger. You didn't drive around deuce and a half, or you didn't drive around anything else there, Jim. What did you drive around in the military?
M60A3s.
For those who don't know what that is, that's a tank. He had the big boomstick that drove around.
Now they have a big, beautiful M1A1 Abrams tank. 120 millimeter. It was only 105 when I was in, so definitely improved, and goes quite a bit faster than the old tanks. My dad had Shermans, the M48s back in the 60s.
Tank commander.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
But that's where the TC actually makes more sense, because usually it's, in a vehicle, the TC is the person sitting up front, it's an officer in a convoy. He actually had the real TC, the tank commander, not just.
Yeah.
Right, and actually when they were in Fort Knox in the 50s and 60s, the Jeep, as we all know it, that was created in 1941, I think it was in August, that's what my dad fought in. My dad wasn't in his own tank. So you see the progression even in the armor branch, go from Jeep, and have the long antenna for the officer,
Yeah.
and then have all the tanks. Now you graduated into the officer being in the group there with the 5 tanks.
Yeah, Patton was primarily in the Jeep.
Right.
Yeah, so I heard something about when there's something that they call a tank PT. What was that?
Well, why did you tell me what?
No, I heard about it. I never knew what it was. So I'm hoping you can tell me what it is.
No comment?
No comment. Yeah, I think it was something like this.
Very safe environment.
Yeah.
With the gas particulator system and the halon system. Yeah.
Oh yeah, great. Yeah, the halon. Yeah,
Had about 3 seconds.
Yeah.
If that, right?
Oh.
Get
Hey,
out.
you were telling me something about how they used to throw and chuck ACS gas grenades into your.
All the sergeant majors were there, man.
Halon, that's AFFF, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, sucks all the air out of the. That's wonderful.
And I was the biggest guy, so I'd be trying to want to get out of the tank first, which means everyone's screwed, right? Get out, absolutely. Hurry up.
You ever seen a cork in the bottle?
Yeah.
Oh wow! It's a good thing. It's a good thing it wasn't the opposite where it expanded the air, pop you out like a champagne cork. Woo!
You guys, there is some shared experiences that these guys all get to banter over. You're going to see lots more of that. But before you do that, let's give a word with our sponsors. We actually have Whitney Signs. They are local in Estacada, and we love them very much. And they love patriots, they love military, and they have a deep respect for our country. So we want to just give them props, and here we go. Hey, look, good to be back. Hey, Sean, we love you, and we love you guys. And we're going to jump right back into it. The guys had a reason for why they decided to fight for our country, to defend our country. And we want to hear a little bit more about why the hell did you do it? And what made you do it? So, there you go.
Oh, I don't know about the other two, but I was in during the period when they had the draft. And my high school counselor was dating the person who was on the draft board, and she told him that my number was coming up. This is before the lottery. You know, your name came up.
Sounds like a reverse lottery, because if your number comes up, you get to join the service versus
Yeah.
when your number comes up in the real lottery.
So,
You take a bunch of
in
money.
order to evade the draft, I decided to join the Navy because my father was a Marine, and I knew that if I joined the Navy, that would piss him off more than anything else, which at 19 was one of my major goals in life, pissing off my father. So I went to the recruiters, and the Army, Marines, and Navy were out to lunch, and the Air Force was there, and he said, well, it's all the same paperwork. Here, sign on this line. And a couple weeks later, I got a letter that said, yeah, congratulations, welcome to the Air Force. So, yeah. So my recruiter.
Luck of the
The
draw.
rest is history.
Yeah, the rest is history. And
Luck of the draw, huh?
yeah, I'm glad I didn't wind up in the Navy.
Did you send him a case of wine for saving your butt? You could have been a seaman, man.
Yeah.
You don't Navy math, right?
Oh, what's that?
Yeah, is it 50 men go under a submarine and 25 couples come off?
Yeah. So anyway, that was how I wound up in the Air Force, and like I said, they sent me down to basic, and I was told that I had to choose a career field, and they sent me into a classroom, and they said all the career fields are listed on the board up front. Choose one. I looked up there, and there was only one. And I
Sounds like
said,
the military.
yeah, I said, I don't want that one. And they said, too bad, so sad. Congratulations, you're an air freight specialist. So,
Just like everything issued to us was one each, right?
yeah, right.
Say, what
Didn't
is,
matter, right?
what did it say in the military? There's only one thief. Everybody else is trying to get their stuff back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like I say, I was stationed all over the place. I went to Wichita Falls, Texas to get trained. Went to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, which no longer exists. That was a great base. The only nice base the Air Force had for a while, but that's probably why they got rid of it. But
We talked about the Air Force has the nicest bases, the nicest food, and the nicest housing.
oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
And,
I'm in Afghanistan sleeping in a hut, like literally a shed you put your tools in type of building, and the Air Force is sleeping in hard building with indoor running water and bathrooms. I walk halfway across the entire campus to get to my shower and chitter.
Yeah.
And
Well-
also, you guys had regular toilets inside your guys' building. In ours, they were backwards. Usually the plooper right above the hole, right? In this case, they're backwards, so it's the hole's up front, the plooper's in the front. So it doesn't really make much sense, but it's backwards. It's like they had what's that? They had oh my goodness, who was that guy in the military? Or was that a show about him? It was he was just a goober. Anyways, never mind. I can't think of his name.
Hall?
No, I'm thinking like there's a show about him.
Oh.
Gomer Pyle. It's like
I was
Gomer
gonna say,
Pyle. They could,
USMC,
You
yeah.
talking about Gomer Pyle?
yeah, Gomer Pyle. He was installing the toilets that day or something.
Sergeant Carter.
Sergeant Carter, that's right.
I could picture you, Jim, as being like a Sergeant Bilko.
Oh God, that's a show I haven't heard about in a while.
Yeah. I don't think I'd look good in a bathrobe.
He always
Insignia on.
Bilko always had a scam.
Yeah, well, they had the old version, they had the newer one that was made by, good golly, he's the guy that plays in Cheaper by the Dozen. What's his name?
Which cheaper by the dozen?
Steve Martin.
Steve Martin. Steve Martin made the newer one. That's what I saw when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So I saw it before I went into the military, and I always kind of wondered how much of that would actually fit. And then I joined the National Guard, and I saw that some of it was true, like the guys that couldn't do push-ups. He's like weighed like 600 pounds.
Yeah.
We had a couple friends like that. He always used to hit on my wife. It was great. He goes, hey, when you're done in the patrol and you're ready to get rid of him, just let me give me a call. Oh yeah, I like that guy. He was a hoot. So, anyways. I don't think I answered the question why I joined the military.
No, still waiting.
I'm getting all the signal. It was right after 9/11. I always wanted to go in the military my whole life, but I was 17 when 9/11 happened, or 16. I don't have my shoes to take off right now, but I was like 16 or 17.
16 going on
Army.
17.
I was 16 going on 17, and so at 17 I could join the military. Hey, at least I set up to use an abacus. I was back in your guys'
You know how to
days.
use those?
Anyways, but yeah, so 9/11 happened. I was working at a gas station, and I wasn't old enough yet to go into the military until a couple months later, or a month later technically. But I joined shortly after my, I think it was in like November, I want to say I joined. I forget now. When I signed up for it, and I went into the military then the first time. I'm actually one of the few people that actually had to do basic twice. So the short story is, when I first went in, I got pushed through MEPS with even with psoriasis, but I have psoriasis, which is a skin condition, and I did not have a waiver for it. And so when I was in training, I was in an OSET, which is a one station unit training for the infantry. I got really sick towards the end of training, got a pneumonia. I had to go to sick call, but when I was in the sick call, the doc there saw that I had psoriasis, realized I didn't have any waiver in my record. Basically wrote an email to the commander of my unit, said, oh, the psoriasis is a horrible thing, you get to treat it with cancer drugs, it can become a detriment, he's going to get infected, it'll cover his whole body, it'll be nothing but a problem on the unit. And so it scared my commander about what that might cause. I contested it, and short story is ended up sending me home even though I contested it, and I requested to have a medical board hearing. They sent me home. It took me a couple of years. I fought my way back, found a way to get a waiver. I'm missing a lot of details here because I'm just trying to speed through it. Got the waiver, going back in, but because I didn't technically finish my training, I was a week before I graduated. They were just leaving on the final FTX.
Yep.
I didn't technically finish I finished the 9-week boot camp, or the basic training, but it was a job training because they're all combined into one. They didn't consider it finishing it. I had to go back to basic again. So first part was South Carolina, good golly, Fort Benning, Georgia, and then Relaxing Jackson in South Carolina.
Nice.
And I joined because it's what I always wanted to do on the 9/11. So.
Yeah, college. I did that one.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, great. I was just cueing them because, I'm just the co-host. So, hey guys, I wanted to let you know you were going to find out a little bit more about these guys when we return. The next sponsor we have is Valerie of Hitchin' Post Pizza. Watch this. Hey guys, you know what? We are a channel that loves the military. We love law enforcement. And we want to continue to honor our veterans. So if you know a veteran right away, just thank them for their service. Never forget, there's many ways that you could honor a veteran, and we encourage you to do that. As you know, our veterans right here have a lot to say, and you might get lost in all of the acronyms, but if you know what they are, enter in. If you don't, then you know what, look them up. They're always there too. Hey guys, we're going to continue. We're going to talk about the PACT Act. What in the world? It's taken 3 tries to hopefully get this through, but I know you guys have a lot to say about that, so please talk.
Speak. Okay. First of all,
Yeah, look it up.
no, I just want to make sure I had it correct. The first time it failed to meet the 60 votes back on July 27th, it was only 55 to 42. They put some technical corrections. So as of August 2nd, it passed the Senate 86 to 11. And so that's going to the president's desk, and it will help immediately 3.5 million veterans exposed to airborne hazards and burn pits. And I just wanted to read this paragraph because I'm pretty sure people have heard about whether it's Kosovo, Afghanistan, but toxic smoke and fumes from burn pits in Iraq and Afghanistan included medical and human waste, jet fuel, chemicals, metal, munitions and unexploded ordnance, petroleum and lubricant products, plastics, styrofoam, and more.
Don't forget dead animals too.
Well,
Like rotting dead animals. They dump all the dogs in
absolutely.
there.
I'm just so happy that since all the advancements and all the research that has been done from the Vietnam era with the presumptive conditions that keep going up, the blue water settlement for the naval personnel parked out in the water supporting the ground troops that they've had that time. Now my generation soldiers are and Marines are finally starting to get the conditions that they need. And once he signs it, then 3.5 million soldiers are going to get.
Well, the big thing to point out here too is the reason why it got held up. It wasn't for not. The reason why it got held up and the Republicans originally had voted no on it the second time around was because the Democratic Party had tried to push in 400 billion. Was it?
Yeah, it was a lot.
I keep getting mixed up. I had to check it, but it's either 400 million or 400 billion dollars. I think it might have been million. $400 million to try to push into the bill and extra junk that had nothing to do with the core piece of the
For
bill.
their own states.
Yeah. And so I think they pulled that out, and that's why it got through.
And still 11 didn't vote for it.
Yeah, I don't know. They might have had other things in there that those people didn't agree with, but yeah, it's I don't agree with a lot of what they do up there. Usually, when a representative would vote as from the Republican Party votes to get something to help the military, there's usually a reason for it in most cases, and so I actually tried to find more information exactly what was added in there. I couldn't find enough before the show.
Right.
It was just 400. I want to say it's $400 million. So I'm pretty positive about that one. So, but yeah, it's. I mean, it's. That's the thing that really gets me is, this is the bill that's for the veterans. Why can't they just make the bill simple? This is what it is. This is what it includes, and all the extra junk that they're always trying to tag into that. Get rid of that crap and let the veterans be. You want to try to add crap in somewhere else? Put it into something else.
Yeah.
So they can go down there. Don't add that crap into a bill that needs to get through for the veterans.
Right.
I'd like to see them go to single subject bills.
Yep.
There you go.
Simple.
Yeah, or either that or give the president line item veto.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or just take away his pen altogether along with his little desk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be like Uber. I'm sorry. I have a lot of respect for the presidential office. I have a lot of respect for people in
Absolutely.
leadership.
Yes.
I don't have. I cannot call Mr. Biden the president because he lost that with me the day that he left American citizens in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
The minute he did that, he lost the ability for me to acknowledge him as a president because he killed a tradition of over 200 years of never leaving an American citizen in a war zone or in a position like that. We don't leave people behind.
And it's coming up on the 1-year anniversary.
Yeah.
Seems like yesterday.
And there's still people there.
Right.
people need to remember what he did there. I mean, especially don't let him fool you with all the crap that's coming through for this election. Remember the things that have happened over the last couple of years. Remember the fact that this president and this party, what they did to something that we cannot take back. They screwed over our allies, pissed off all of them, ran out of there with their tail between their legs, gave back the something we spent 20 years of our friends and our brothers or sisters or husbands and wives, everything. All these people died defending something in that country, and he gave it back. And he left $1 billion and weaponry and vehicles. Now, granted, they don't have the capability of using a lot of that out there, but nonetheless. Just the ammo and the vehicles and the guns alone is enough to cause problems. And if they could figure out how to fly the Blackhawks and the other things, then that's even worse.
They already have.
Yeah, they started figuring it out.
I've
seen some videos of them trying to fly. It wasn't too
Yeah, well, they're not exactly great at flying the Blackhawks, but I saw video of them actually off the ground. How long he was off the ground, I don't know.
You know, they start somewhere. They learn eventually, right? But that's the thing is they gave this stuff over to them, and then they're harboring terrorists. They just talked about how they just killed one terrorist guy. It took, by the way, a year later they killed one guy, and he was in the core central part of Afghanistan where all the other leadership of the Taliban's at. He had this person in charge of Al Qaeda. This big old person was basically hanging out and eating, drinking wine with them, and having a good old time. And then they took him out, but that just shows that state has now become a safe haven for terrorism. That we armed, and that we basically funded, and that we left our own people in that country. I mean,
with no real form of
where
government.
is a charge for treason? That is treasonous act. I personally loaded some of my own brothers onto cargo planes out there and set them home under a flag for fighting for safety for the citizens back home and fighting for a purpose and a meaning and a calling. And sometimes it's fighting for each other. And then that's the crap that they pull. And it costs an additional 13 lives.
By the way, if you look back in the news cycle about a year ago, they killed that same terrorist leader a year ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
He was reported to have died of natural causes due to asthma and several other things. But his death was reported a year ago, and now, theoretically, Biden has killed him again.
Amazing how that happens.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, it'll be Osama bin Laden again. Hey, we just took out Osama bin Laden, guys.
Yeah.
Saddam Hussein.
It's Saddam Hussein too.
Right, yeah. Just thought I'd throw that in.
I didn't actually know that. I have to check that out.
Yeah, check it out.
All right.
It's crazy.
But, yeah.
But I mean the fact is that they did that, and it's just I mean that just shows the thought process of the leadership and the current administration right now, and then it shows the Democratic Party's thought process and care when it comes down to the soldiers, the troops that protect the country. And then we're over there fighting to keep that crap over across seas, right? While he's back here opening the borders and letting that crap flood in.
Oh,
We have no idea who's coming across the borders. Do you have any idea how many terrorists might have crossed the borders in this country now?
No.
they've
They will
caught.
the next time we see a city buildings go down.
Yeah, they've caught a
Like, well,
bunch
how'd
of
they get in
them,
here?
but there's. Last I heard, there was over 900,000 gotaways. Yeah, I mean, we're talking almost 1 million people that they don't know who they are, what their intentions are, where they went, what they're doing.
Well, when the next building comes down and costs another 5,000 U.S. citizens their lives on their own turf, they're going to say, well, how did this happen? What happened there? Oh my goodness, was there some big old plan they pushed them somewhere? It's going to come down to the fact is that we had open borders and we didn't protect our borders.
Yeah.
Every country in the world has borders that they protect. And in many countries, you cross the border illegally, you get shot.
Yes.
Well, according to Mayorkas, our borders are secure.
Yeah, whatever.
You mean?
Wait, did they redefine the word secure?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Right around the redefine the word as a recession.
But Joel and I were talking about this, Tony, before you came tonight, and the article came up in the American Legion, and it talked about the C-17 crew, John, because it's almost a year.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being at that airport, and I was reading Joel, people running after the plane, and you're a pilot, knowing that you have to leave.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
you've seen,
right up here, we got 13
you've
balls
seen
that Tony and Joel
you've seen
have.
the videos, the plane's off up in the air and bodies are falling off.
Can you imagine being that pilot, knowing that you have people falling to their death off your plane?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I
Can't.
And you don't know, because those people could have been people that they were working right next to those pilots and those others.
Yeah.
They could have been people that you were.
That were promised.
Yeah,
Yep.
when I was
Yeah.
there for a year and a half, we had people that we worked besides that were local nationals or translators, things like that put their life on the line in order to roll out with our units, to roll out with us, work on the base, things like that, provide us intel.
Right.
Yeah.
All on for the promise that, and they've been cleared, their backgrounds and everything else, to come back to the U.S. when it's done. And then they just abandon them there.
Yeah.
I mean, could you imagine if that was you? If you, as a U.S. citizen, think about it. If you had basically take everything you had, put everything out. Say you were in a gang territory, and you started, giving out the data on the gangs. You went out and you helped to connect. Maybe the police with the gangs makes those connections, and you put your stuff on the line and your family on the line and everything you have on the line because you're behind enemy lines at that point. And then when it came time for them to deliver you out of that area, out of that ghetto or whatever it is, and put you somewhere safe, they just pretend like they didn't know your name.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. See you.
It wouldn't even, not even thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Here, we're going to throw you off a plane.
I know.
But you fall to your death.
The thing gets me is, like you said, the never leave anybody behind is gone. I mean, we've lost it.
Yeah, and that's actual U.S. citizens. That's not even promised to.
Yeah, I mean, there's actual U.S. citizens still stranded in Afghanistan.
Right.
Not to count the thousands of ones we promised.
With no common form of government
Yeah.
in place.
By the with by the way, the actual beheadings and the torture starting before we actually even pulled everybody out of there. They started before we even left.
Yeah.
They were chasing people down.
Yeah,
They were-
but
The Taliban was holding back our own citizens from getting to the airports and towns.
our magnificent military leaders all guaranteed that the Afghans military could handle it. Oh no, they've got it. We've trained them.
I
They've got it.
I hadn't been
Yeah.
there a decade. I could tell them they couldn't handle it.
Yeah, Biden was. Don't worry, the Afghans have got this all covered. Bullshit.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's because he never actually went there. He never talked to them. He never saw them training. He never saw them fighting. He didn't see any of that.
Hell, if he had gone there, he wouldn't have known what he was looking at.
Fair enough. I mean,
Was
even
Pelosi there?
probably not. Maybe they would have left her there. Maybe that's a great. Maybe the whole administration should fly over to Afghanistan, and then they can fly. Then the planes can fly off and leave them behind and see how they.
Yeah.
Like it.
You guys took an oath to commit to no men left behind, and experiencing what you saw, or what you've experienced in terms of over TV and the way things were left, just thrown up in the air. I'm sure you had a visceral reaction inside of you because this is something that you were told you don't do, but Commander-in-Chief did. So I'm sure you have definitely personal feelings about that, and possibly can understand the morale of the guys who had to leave before they were ready. You can identify with that, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, I can tell you in my house there was a lot of blue air. I was screaming, yelling, cursing at the screen. I was so totally pissed, embarrassed for, God.
That's the word right there.
Exactly.
Sure.
Embarrassment on a global stage.
Yeah.
The whole world was watching that. Why do you think Putin stepped the way he did? Because of what he saw happen in Afghanistan.
Not only that, but our allies, we didn't bother telling. We didn't bother saying, "Oh, by the way, we're leaving."
Left the lights on.
Yeah.
See you later.
Yeah, I mean, and the English, they're sitting there going, "Where'd the Americans go?" Oh, they left.
They're on that plane right there.
Yeah.
Do we
You
get
the
to
ones
go
with
now?
bodies falling off of it?
Yeah. It's just, Yeah, the English military is not the least bit happy with us.
No.
English. There was I fought with
Australia.
English, Australia.
Yeah.
Let's see, also, UAE was there. So I fought with them as well.
So what happens when the inevitable next conflict comes up and we say, trust us, we got you covered. And they go,
Ukraine.
yeah, right, sure.
Yeah, exactly. That's the big thing is they don't have faith that we would do it. Even if we get a new leader, they may trust that leader during the time that he's there, but they see what happens. We change leadership every 4 years, and so therefore they don't know that they can trust long term. So they're not going to want to get into long term wars with us.
Yeah.
Until we can show them otherwise. In which, I mean, the next we shouldn't be getting into wars if we can avoid them. But the next war might be World War III.
And
What's it going to say for our allies?
How long has Putin been waiting for Joe?
Exactly.
He's been waiting a long time,
Yeah.
right?
This is
Before Obama.
Yeah, once he got in, he just basically pedaled to the metal to get his butt there.
Yeah.
So he felt way emboldened after Afghanistan.
Sounds like you guys are pretty pissed off about what happened.
That doesn't even begin to cover it.
That was you said embarrassment, John, too, as well.
Yeah.
We have a sponsor that actually speaks to the emotion of this conversation called Pissed Off Patriot. Watch this. We are back, and hopefully you get a chance to look at that further. Hey, I want to actually throw a question out to you guys. Getting back here locally, this thing called being proud of your country and respecting the freedoms that you guys have, spent life and limb trying to achieve for us through service. How do you feel about seeing civilians, many who possibly even look like me, stepping all over the American flag? What's your thoughts?
Not going to happen in front of me.
No.
Dang straight.
I always go back to the Dodgers center fielder, Rick Monday
Yep.
game. A couple of knuckleheads run on the field. They start lighting it. He runs and comes up behind them and then runs off the field, gives it to the dugout, goes back out. They get arrested, and he goes back out and does the job. Just like that.
One of the best things I've seen.
Exactly.
No confrontation. They hook him up, go back to doing his job. Just don't do that in front of me.
Exactly. I
Not
mean, there's
gonna
lines
be
you
pretty.
don't cross.
No.
Yeah.
There's
It's
lines you don't
legal.
cross.
The Supreme Court says it's legal, but it's not going to happen.
Hey, you know what? Yeah, there's a lot of things that
No.
Your freedom of speech is legal, but you still have to be accountable to the things you say. You say the wrong thing to somebody, they're gonna knock you out.
Nope.
Yep.
You do the wrong action in front of somebody, you better be willing to pay that price.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's absolutely unacceptable. If you don't like the country, you're not proud of it, get the hell out. So
We're still waiting on a couple actors. And actresses.
You know what? I hear a great thing you could do if you want to find residence in a foreign country is take some drugs, go to Russia, and they'll put you up in a nice little
For at least 10 years.
Yeah, exactly. They'll take care of you.
Yeah.
Got a
And
place to stay?
Look at the pennies.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Feel it every day?
By the time you get home again to the U.S., you'll be fluent in Russian.
Exactly.
2 languages.
Yeah.
Wow.
You might be able to hold your own too.
Yeah.
And you'll probably have caught most of the diseases out there, so you'll be immune to most stuff. COVID won't be a problem anymore.
Exactly.
The burning of the flag is absolutely ridiculous, just like your shirt.
Yeah. Don't mess with my flag.
My shirt?
It's a heart, dude.
So, guys, I have to say this really fast. I got this shirt from, I can actually blame your wife on this one. But I got this shirt, and actually for the 4th of July. It's one of our actually products that we come out with for you ladies. So you can always get a pink shirt if you want one. Thanks, guys. Thank you. Thank you a lot. There you go. It comes in pink, too. Oh, man. Hey, guys, tell me about, or tell your views.
Hey, Tony, you cracked me up, man.
Sure.
Thanks, man.
Hard on for
Huh?
the ladies. Okay.
He says he has a hard on for the ladies.
Keep the camera on, Tony. Hey guys, I gotta keep this going. This is really, really fast. Oh my gosh. A little bit of more of a personal question for you. Here's a little bit of a personal question. Talk about a most memorable moment in the military. And it could be anything. So it's off limits. So a most memorable moment. It could be a moment of service that's maybe not as exciting, or it could be one that's totally hilarious. Whatever it is, you just pick. So a most memorable moment.
Let's see. Joel?
So many to choose from.
I know, well,
Most
okay, I'll do
memorable?
the first one here. Tony, when I was a young man, I was able to have the honor of meeting General Gray, Commandant of the Marine Corps. And he would always come in, shake your hand, and try to rip your shoulder right out of your socket.
Wow.
And he was about this tall. So I was ready for him.
Short man syndrome.
How you doing, sir? And go back the line and just everybody.
Wow.
But yeah, he was a great guy.
Great guy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Great leader.
Short man syndrome. Most generals have it.
Wow.
Some officers too.
Right.
Camera will go off soon, John. I'll take care of it.
Oh man, I had a lot of good ones. Man, I don't even know. I think, I'll never forget the first time I saw the round brown, brown top. That was one thing. It was a little surreal. Get off my bus. And then the second time I was a little disappointed because they just kind of nicely got on and goes, please guys, tweak out the bus, please.
They just say that to you, or
No.
because it was your second time, or
No, they didn't know that second time. I'm like, what, the wrong place? No, it was the first time it was actually, no, it was the get off the bus, yell, scream, everything else like that, right? The second time it was much more civilized or calmer or something, even though it was at Relaxing Jackson. So
Jackson. Sorry.
yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I remember everything from our swearing in to FTXs. I think I told you the story the other day. How I actually got in trouble for doing the right thing.
That happens
so
too.
we were in a foxhole. I dug a foxhole up in Sandhill, and the drill sergeant had come up, and I was meeting another guy, but I knew how to build a foxhole. And I heard the clink, thump, and what he did is he had actually thrown a CS grenade into the foxhole, and I dug a grenade hole like you're supposed to. So I kicked it into the grenade hole and collapsed the ground on it, and it exploded underground. Didn't get anything in there. Oh, he was mad that I wasted his grenade.
Mm-hmm.
He thought he had me, and so yeah, I got to eat dirt for a little while. So
Front leaning rest.
yeah. There was other ones too. I remember we had one. This drill sergeant. Actually, no. This was the first sergeant of the one in Jackson. He was a high speed spec ops type of guy, and he would, during the FTXs, he would sneak out, and he would people wouldn't fall asleep. He would take a Sharpie. He'd draw a Sharpie across their neck or across their head and things like that. And so you'd wake up and you wouldn't know it until afterward. Everybody else would see it. Like, oh, fell asleep, huh?
Highly trained.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was great. So there was that one. What else was there? This was actually another time during training. I had a lot of good times during the Jackson training because because I'd already gone through it all. They kind of gave it easy on me. So I got to help with a lot of stuff. I got to throw the extra grenades and fire the extra rounds and be the test dummy for stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted me to help them with some of the training for maneuvers and for mount, and so they gave me a CS grenade. There's a lot of CS grenades during this time, and they said, "Hey, do you think you can do anything with this?" I said, "Sure." So I went in and I booby trapped the inside of this little shack that they were supposed to clear the door on, and I had a tripwire going across the way. I set it up. I stood back with the drill sergeant, and we were watching them go up, and they get up and they stack up on the side of the door, and they're getting ready to go in, and they kind of do like the motion of sweeping forward, but they never actually checked it. And there's this there was two of them that went in at first, but the first one goes in. It was this girl. She runs in. I hear her go click. Oh, whoosh! And the whole building gets filled up with a white cloud. And it was this stuff. Oh, and it didn't. She didn't get the word out before the whole building gets filled up. Oh man, it was good times watching that happen. But I guarantee you that if she ever stacked up on a mount again, they checked every door after that, and they learned a lesson. So yeah, good times in Afghanistan. I remember trading a Connex box for a 40-inch TV and 2 leather chairs.
Those are necessities.
Yeah.
Hey, in Afghanistan, you got to go with what you can get, right?
That's right.
So, how about you, John?
Oh, well, memorable moments, depends on whether you're talking about memories that you just as soon not have or memories that are good.
The first ones are stronger.
Oh God, they won't go away.
I was avoiding some of the not have ones.
You're bringing up a good point right now.
But being in the air freight, I also was in what they call passenger service.
Right.
I have met and shook the hands of presidents, every one of them, except for the current, the current Donald Trump and dipshit. But they fly into military bases. I drove the stair truck out,
Nice.
and they'd come down, and I'd shake their hand as they were going. Met the Prime Minister of England, several other dignitaries,
Nice.
which I thought was kind of cool, But and in 28 years, I had a lot of fun. I mean, just there's times I just laugh my ass off and just. And the military, the nice thing about the military is they never cease to give you things to laugh at. I mean, how many times did you get an order and you go, yeah, right, you're not serious, are you?
I'm supposed to repeat that.
Yeah, but I've had a lot of those in my time, and like, who came up with this dumbass idea?
The colonel.
Yeah, and that's another thing. You talk about rank. There's senior officers that you highly respect, that you would charge in for, you would do anything for.
Absolutely.
And then there's those that are an empty suit with rank insignia. And I learned early on, you respect the rank, but you don't have to respect the man.
Just like every job.
Yep. That's, but I have a lot of good memories, and a lot of things the government does just make absolutely no sense at all. I mean,
Amen to that.
I mean, it's like,
Dope slap.
yeah, it's like spending. At the end of the fiscal year, if you have any money left in your budget, they take it away.
Yeah.
And you got to start from scratch all over again the following year. And you're basically punished for saving money.
Right.
So if you've been very frugal with your budget during the year and you've got, $10,000 left in your office budget, they come down and say, man, dude, you got to spend that real quick.
August, September is a good month.
Yeah. So you're out buying, 10 years worth of wood clinched pencils, new office chairs to replace the new office chairs that you got last year. I mean,
Sounds like the Air Force.
you're going, why?
And then you have to find a place for all
You
those.
know, this is on a civilian equivalent. This is like saying, your bank saying, oh, by the way, December 31st, any money you have left in the bank, we're taking it, and you have to start over January 1st with an empty account. What? You know,
Well, it's not exactly an empty account. I mean, they give you money again.
yeah, they give you money again, but why?
But if you don't spend it all, they give you less.
Yeah, exactly. You know, if you had $10,000 left, you say, well, obviously you didn't need the
Did a good
$10,000,
job, right?
so you don't get that $10,000 in the next budget, so that you got to spend it. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's. I mean, I get both sides of it. It's if you take it away if you don't need it, but at the same time, it should be a longer pattern. So for like 3 years, 4 years in a row, you have had an extra $10,000 in your budget. Then take it away.
Yeah.
But not year to year. And definitely, they also have the opposite where if you spend all that money, then they give you more next year.
Yeah, I don't mind them taking it away at the end of the year, you know, if you didn't spend it.
Right.
But why is there this mad rush to spend money on stuff you don't need?
Right.
You know, that's just one of the crazy things.
Or why do we always, like the government buildings are always leased? Why don't we own them?
Yeah, I know.
Well, I
Still
think-
haven't been able to find
I
that.
actually, I know why the federal government does that, because the federal government buys property and the state becomes federal property, and that there's a thing between states and federal property, things like that. So there's one reason in that area, but the state can buy the property. So, but it also might come down to where I think there's like a limited on land. I don't know. I'm sure there's something stupid out there.
So the Chinese can buy all the
Of course.
farmland. they
Oh
want.
yeah, of course they can buy what they want.
Okay.
As long as you're a foreign government, you can buy whatever you want in our country.
Yeah. Yeah,
And then we'll borrow money from you in the process.
Right.
personally, I'd like to see, you know, if you're a foreign government or a foreign entity or a foreign corporation, you can rent all the property you want. You just can't buy it.
Just like Mexico.
There's a
Pay
lot-
your
there's a
taxes
lot
for
of places
99
like that.
years.
Yeah,
That's
Exactly.
it, we're done.
yeah, this letting foreigners come in and buy up the country. Yeah, you know, with our money.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
money that we've sent to them, they come back and buy our
Oh,
country.
you know, we're not just money. We send them our diesel and our fuel
Yeah. Oh yeah.
while we're at it.
Well, on that note, you guys, actually, that's the crash of letting us know that we've come to the end of our show. But also, I want to, first of all, before we do this is rich conversation. Really fast. This is really rich conversation that we are having and that you get a front row seat to. These are veterans who are real people, and what they speak, they've also invested in, which gives their voice a lot more power behind it. You're going to catch us every week talking to veterans. Thank you for my two co-hosts as well as our guest, John. So thank you so much for being here, John Nieder. He is a local guy in Estacada. We love him. Actually, I want to say this too. He designed our local Veterans Memorial that we get to enjoy for special events around town in every observance. So we are very excited about your creativity and and the impact it's played in our city.
And
So
we
thank you
have
so much.
bricks for sale.
And you have by the way, there are veterans bricks for sale, and I know a lot of veterans in the Estacada area that have not yet signed up for a brick, including someone in this room. I always get out after him. This is my other brother there.
I
So
have 2 bricks.
2 bricks. Oh, Jim,
I have 2 bricks there.
you have 2 bricks there.
Yeah.
And so yes, guys,
I don't need to buy one. He's got one for me.
well, see, and that's the thing. That's the thing about military. They do things behind the scenes. And so sometimes when you say thank you for your service, if you see them blush a little bit or kind of explain it away, that they did that because, and they serve our country because they love our country. So recognition is just the icing on the cake. Again, you're going to see us every week. So thank you, the viewer, for being here. And actually, if there is a veteran who is suffering from, and John kind of alluded to it, there's some stories in the military that are fun to talk about. There's some stories that are very difficult to talk about. And your local veteran most likely won't talk about those stories. to a civilian, but might talk to another veteran about. But there is help out there. If you are a veteran that is suffering from PTSD, any anxiety or depression, you just call 988, which is now our new crisis helpline. So there is help
Thank
for
you, Tony.
you
Thank
and
you.
support for
It's
you.
always better to talk.
It's always better to talk, right, guys?
We're here.
Yep.
And that's why we're here every week. So have that conversation. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next week.